What it do? What it do? What it do? We got things to talk about. We got things to discuss. What it do? What it do? What it do? We got things to talk about. We got things to discuss. We've got things to discuss. We've got things to discuss. If you're joining me on Instagram Live, you need to come on over to YouTube Amanda Seals TV. That's YouTube Amanda Seals TV. I just put the link in my stories. Well, I'm about to put the link in my stories, but go to YouTube Amanda TV. We're about to do the Common Sense Kickback. I'm going to talk about these Puff Daddy allegations. I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about The View and why they are always running their mouth about shit they don't know. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the flower massacre that just went down in Palestine. So I want you to come on over to Amanda Seals TV. Hello, Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi, what are you doing right now? You should just come on my live with me and talk on my YouTube live. Because shout out to Mehdi, because Mehdi just launched Zateo, his news, his news network, etc. It's very nice to have that. The link, just go to Amanda Seals TV on YouTube. I'm going to post it to my stories right now. I see y'all coming over here. You're coming over to the YouTube. See, we're over here. Yeah, that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. I see someone saying the Congo. We just did an entire Common Sense Kickback about the Congo 2 days ago. Where were you? Okay. Okay. So go look at my stories. About to post the link. Mehdi, you got people over here asking if you're hiring. So go in my stories. I'm about to post it right now. Join me right now. I'm on YouTube, Amanda Seals TV, talking about Puff's allegations, talking about The View and them not knowing what they're talking about when it comes to uncommitted voting. And I'll be talking about the flower massacre in Palestine. Join us. Are y'all here? All right. You made it, Quentin. Hey, Shana. Hey, Shanatural. What's up? Come on over, y'all. We in here. We in here. What's up? What's up? Okay. So we've got things to discuss. I'm waiting for people to get in here. When we get to 150, we will start discussing. In the meantime, in between time, let's take care of some business. If you have not subscribed to my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon. You can also listen to my radio show, The Amanda Seals Show, wherever you get your podcasts. And we are syndicated in select cities, so you can check us out there. Also, if you are a fan of Small Doses Podcast, we do Small Doses bonus episodes now, but you can only get them if you're a member of Patreon. So that's another reason to join Patreon. We also record them live, so you can be in the chat while I'm recording. And remember, if you're here tonight, to subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube, Amanda Seals TV. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the things. You know, when you talk like I talk, they really will try to suppress. They will try to echo chamber you. They'll try to shut you up. So I need you all to be like, no, 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 all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. If you did not check out the last Common Sense Kickback with Ty Saleh, and you also follow her on Instagram at Red Ma'at. We did an entire Common Sense Kickback about the Congo. So please make sure to go back and check that episode out. Today we're going to talk about some more. I'm back. Sorry. I'm back. I pressed the wrong button. I was gone. Okay. Thank you all for, I just pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Thank you, Jennifer, for subscribing. Thank you, Alexis, for joining the Congo Kickback. We were definitely getting schooled. Thank you, Omar. Shout out to the Bean. You know what's funny? I am making a tour stop in Boston. See those dates? Yes, May 17th and 18th. The tickets are on sale. Go to amandaseals.com. Did I even put the tickets up for sale yet on amandaseals.com? I'll put them up tonight. Okay. I'll put them up tonight. All right. We got 200 people in here. Let's talk about some things, guys. Let's talk. Okay. So first and foremost, we got a couple things to talk about. Thank you, Ross. Oh, actually, really quickly. So for all my people in Dallas, my dates in Dallas were originally supposed to be they were supposed to be last month, and then they got moved, but then they were moved during Ramadan. So because I have so much more of an Arab audience right now, I said, let me honor y'all. And so we moved the dates to the 12th, 13th, and 14th. So you can see the dates down here. Thank you. And okay. Let me just tell you about my hair real quick because y'all said that my hair looks great. So when she originally braided my hair, the lady just like left the ends like straight down. And I was like, I look crazy. I look like a horse. Like, I'll show y'all. Like, I looked like a damn horse. How is she going to have me out here looking like this? Why? How she had me out here looking like this? I couldn't do it. I said no. No. And so my homegirl was like, okay, well, what you got to do is I'm going to send you a video. And you can, you got to go get you some flexi rods. And then you could put the flexi rods and then you dip it in the hot water. So, yeah. So I'm proud of myself, but I paid her way too much to have to go through all that. I'm just, way too much to have to go through all that. Way too much. So there's that. Okay. Just saying. I was like, why am I at Target? Why am I at Target buying flexi rods? Okay. Thanks, boo. She did try it, Candace. She did try it. I want to thank y'all for your super stickers. I love it. I appreciate the support. Your girl is out here. I just want y'all to know. So I've been on a plane. Since 10 a.m. Pacific. So I can come and be here in Alabama in Selma for the anniversary of Bloody Sunday and to take part in some voting rights workshops, etc. Because it feels, if I can feel the shift in my life happening, and it just feels more important to be in places like this than in Hollywood spaces. It's going to be an adjustment. It is an adjustment. I've already had an adjustment moment. Literally, I've been here for 5 seconds. I've already had an adjustment moment when I was like, oh, this person like works for the government that I was talking to, and she was really like defending the government. And I was just like, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of silence. I'm going to be very quiet. Yeah, I'm going to be very quiet. So I just want y'all to know the fact that I like came on here and it is this time, like dedication. Okay. So, what do you want me to talk about first? Do you want me to talk about Puff first? Do you want me to talk about, hold on. Let's just do this. Let's just ask y'all real quick. What do you want me to talk about first? Okay, so out of these things, let me know. What do you want me to talk about first? Okay, we got some votes for the View, the motherfucking View. Oh man. Um Start with the soft stuff to ease us in. Okay, then let's start with the View. You want to get Puff out the way? Part of me wants to just go through the indictment like on my Patreon, just really like break it on down, break it on down, because honey, it's a lot. It's a lot. But okay, we'll start with sorry. Um the views. Okay, so let's talk about the View. Um, so I need to see the full clip, but from what I have seen from the clip, I'm like, I've just seen too many. Okay, so can someone tell me this? Can someone tell me this? Oh, actually, let me say this actually before we go any further. When you like something that has been said, please drop a fist in the chat. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please put the time code in the comment section. It just makes it so much easier for me to pull clips that I know that people are resonating with, that people want other people to see. I edit this myself, so I don't have an intern that's handling this. So it really makes it much easier for me and my workload when you all do that. So make sure to do that. Okay. So let's talk about the View. Hey, Robin. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like when I watch The View, back in the day, they seemed to have a lot more handle on topics. It seemed to me like they were much more steadfast and much more like fact checked. And I don't know if it's because they had people like Star Jones, who was an actual lawyer, and so she's not going to get up there and like talk crazy. I don't know if it's because they had like Barbara Walters, who, just reputation wise, like she's not trying to play herself. But doesn't it seem to me that at this point, The View is just like folks up there just talking out their ass? I mean, I feel like Sunny is probably the only exception. But otherwise, I just feel like I'm watching people sit up there and talk out their ass, and they just become more and more conservative around that table. Every iteration of them. Now, I'm looking at this iteration, and I see them talking about this uncommitted voting conversation, and Whoopi Goldberg. Don't get me wrong, she's a legend, but I think she's out of her depth on the conversation. And I feel like just because people have a platform does not mean that you should just be talking out your ass. I take great pains to not talk out my ass. And my platform is not even anywhere close to the size of theirs. I was very perturbed to see Whoopi's comments, because when you're talking about the uncommitted vote that was taken in Dearborn, Michigan, and really the initiative that was taken. And I spoke to Rashida Tlaib today, and I'm working on linking with her sister, and because that's who really pushed it. When you're talking about that, I feel like it is so inept and myopic to say that people who feel like they don't want to vote for Biden because of how he is behaving around Khasa are single issue voters. I can't understand why anybody would say that with like real common sense. So Whoopi Goldberg was on The View today talking about the fact that there was a large voter turnout in Michigan during their primaries that voted uncommitted. And, the uncommitted vote basically states that you're voting, but you're not committing to any of the candidates that are on the ballot. And what it is kind of like a proof of life. It's saying like, we're part of the process, we're here, but we're in the primaries phase, and we are going to let you know that neither of you have done anything to win our vote yet. But we're going to vote because we're showing you that we are a voter bloc and that we matter. And us voting uncommitted pulls from the votes. And Michigan is a state that was flipped. Okay. So they're showing, like, if they got over 10,000 votes, that's showing that these were the amount of votes that you lost or won by, depending on if you're talking about Trump or Biden. So this is a valid number. They ended up getting 100,000 uncommitted votes. Let me take a sip. So when you have that many people saying, we are willing to be a part of this voting process, but we are not going to vote for you, it really speaks volumes, particularly in a state that is a battleground state. Like, this is a reality. And it also says that the Arab community is saying, we are a voter bloc that you need to care about. Notice the organizing that went down for this, and notice the fact that they actually voted. Now, I know that within my Black community, there's a lot of folks that are like, you know what, the way that we show that we are not to be toyed with is that we just don't vote at all. But what you're doing when you do that is you are removing yourself from the actual democratic process. And now, even though, you know, how democratic is the process when it comes to the president, that is up for debate. Don't get me wrong. I still believe in voting as a practice, 100%. And I still believe that at the end of the day, this country still likes to pretend like it's a democracy. So it's only going to go so far. And up until this point, they have been able to get away with a lot of shit. Like I always say, I feel like Trump in 2020 started saying they stole the vote because he was like, well, y'all stole it from me in 2016. So like, why didn't you do it again? He's like, this is what you did in 2016 so that I could win. Why you didn't do it for me again? So voting uncommitted, yes, Diane Tate, voting uncommitted is basically saying, you see me, I see you. What are you doing? Because honey, I'm here, but you ain't got me there. That is what voting uncommitted says to a candidate. And we all know that these candidates thrive on staying in office, and they need to stay in office, and they need to get votes to stay in office. Now, there's other things that they need to do to stay in office, right? I mean, they need to get the support of lobbyists, they need to get the support of corporate dollars, et cetera. But ultimately, the whole sham is that they use all of those corporate dollars and lobbyists to try and convince you all, we all, us all, to vote for them so that is how they get in office. Like, that's the dance. Okay? That's the dance. So when Whoopi Goldberg sits up here and says something like, oh, this is them saying that they're single issue voters, and essentially alluding to the fact that by them being uncommitted, they're like putting votes in Donald Trump's pocket, it really is just it's an unintellectual assessment of the situation. Also, there are delegates in each state that end up being a part of who gets determined as the candidate for the DNC. Now, granted, there should be, you know, other people in the primaries everywhere on the Democratic side of things. Okay. The fact that like it's assumed that Joe Biden is going to be the Democratic candidate is really nonsense. I mean, that's just the facts. But the other fact though, is that when it comes to the determining of the candidacy of the nominee, when it comes to the determining of the candidate, it's the delegates in each state. The delegates are supposed to represent the electorate of sorts, you know, the people. And each state is supposed to nominate, you know, when you watch the conventions, they're like, Michigan nominates Joe Biden, etc. Then you have super delegates in each state, right? And these are the delegates that have like a bit more, you know, panache. They have a bit more aplomb. Those are your governors, your mayors, etc. Right? And so all of this adds up, and in the primaries is when all of this should be happening. So often, what happens, y'all? We're here with a Republican and a Democrat, and folks are upset, and they're just like, we should have had a better option. Well, this is when you do this in the primaries. So I don't know what Whoopi Goldberg is talking about. Whoopi, sit this one out. Sit this one out. You're not making no sense. There's also just the other reality that to suggest that what's going on in Palestine is a single issue, like, ma'am, cut it out. Cut it out. How is it a single issue? There's so many issues wrapped up in Palestine. It's really a one-stop shop. It's a one-stop shop. It is. I'm just looking at my black sisters, and I'm like, between Whoopi and Tiffany Haddish, I'm like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Why y'all doing this? Why y'all doing this? So, that's some insight on the uncommitted vote and the theory behind it. And I think that when you all say this, I think you all kind of give people a bit too much credit. I think sometimes you really think that it's like, someone cut them a check and whatever. And sometimes it's not even like that. It's not even like that. Sometimes people are just like, extra. They want to hear themselves talk. Well, I just think that ultimately there's something that is to be said about knowing what you're talking about and knowing the many ways that people can make themselves heard. And yeah, Tequila, listen, I'm trying my best to like break shit down because I ask people to break shit down for me. I don't know about all of this shit. I'm learning. So I call people. And I'm very fortunate to have people to call. You need to have people to call. You need to identify people in your circle that can help you with shit that you don't know. And they need to be able to identify how you can help them understand things that they don't know. We need to have intellectual community. Yeah. We need to have that symbiosis because that right there is one of the ways that we are missing and lacking. People just don't know shit. And they don't even know who to call to get it. Let me tell you, who did I call today? I called Tunde. I called Mark. I hit up David and who else did I call? I can't even remember. I would never be on The View. I don't want to be on none of them shits. So this is really great point. So the uncommitted vote, the uncommitted option is not available in every state. I'm going to Google right now. Let's see. States where you can vote uncommitted. Okay, so the states where you can vote uncommitted are Colorado, North Carolina, Washington, and Minnesota, but only if the party approves it. And the thing about it is that in other states, they have something where you can do oh man, why is it slipping my mind? Because I'm so hungry. It's y'all, what is it called? They have it in Maine. When you can vote like in order, like you can be like, this is my first choice, but this is my second choice. What's that called? Minnesota. In Bobby's world. What's that called, guys? Ranked choice. Okay. So then they have ranked choice voting. And ranked choice voting is when you can be like, this is my first choice, this is my second choice. So like, let's say your first choice doesn't get enough votes to be like an actual contender, then your second choice is who your vote goes to. And what that allows for is for there to be a more diverse group of people who actually have a shot at being the winner or at the candidate. I don't really have an answer for this. Other ways to do a protest vote where uncommitted is not available. I mean, I think ultimately that's when you have to ask yourself, do I write in a name? And if there's enough organizing, then people can write in a name. I mean, I think maybe there's even the option of maybe writing in uncommitted. But I'm going to ask, I'm out here with somebody who's really knowledgeable about all of these things. And I'm going to ask them what the answer to this is. And I'll share it on my Instagram because it really is a great question. And you're right. You're right. It is so insane to say that. Like, bonkers mononkers. Thank you, Jaxie. Yes. So many states allow you to write in a name, but the thing about what made Colorado so special, what made the Michigan situation so special was because since there was an uncommitted option, it was everyone like funneling in that specific direction. And so there's no confusion, right? There's no way to like spin that in another direction, even though they definitely are trying to spin it. But I also saw that this woman, the representative for Biden's campaign said, we see that they did this, and so we're still talking to them and seeing what we can do. Well, as Kim period said, genocide being your one issue is valid. So you know what you can do. And for what it's worth, the reality is that this man is misusing our tax dollars. And I see so many examples of this. And I see so many examples of people from all walks of life, like ex-military being like, yo, like, this is not a war. Like, quit sending us out there. Like, this is not it. This is not it. Like, it's real. And yes, Tequila Thompson, I want you to get your own intellectual community. Like, that's what I'm trying to build here. That's what I'm building listen, that's what we building at the SEAL Squad at my Patreon, an intellectual community. People be in the chat. Sometimes they don't even need me. They be talking to each other in the chat about, news headlines and questions and, ideas, etc. Like, that's what I want to see. And I love that you think that you're seeing this, because that is what they're literally weaponizing ignorance. Like, that's what they've successfully done. And they continue to do it. Honey, I already went through this. I went on the reel and they tried to kill me. They tried to kill you, girl. Ooh, they tried to take me out. Ooh, yeah, they tried to take me out. The real tried to take me out. So I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, no, I don't want to do that. Please don't make me. No, it was too much. That's too much. That's just too much estrogen acting like testosterone. Y'all don't understand these shows. Y'all do not understand these shows. Like, they're so toxic. It's just so much going on, and just everybody's a diva. It's just too much. So yeah, I can't do it. But what I can do is move on to our next topic. And our next topic is what I want to say. So do y'all want to talk about this? Do y'all want to talk about this Puff Daddy stuff? Yes, please like this video. Please like this video. Reminder to everyone who's joining us, when you like something that's being said, drop a fist in the chat. And if you watch this show after, please like, comment, subscribe. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please, 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 please like, comment, subscribe, favorite it. Tell the algorithm that this is the kind of content that people need to see. Also, please, if you like something that's said when you're watching this back, put the time code in the comments. It makes it so much easier for me to identify clips that really resonate with you so that I can boom, 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 chop this up very quickly because I'm the one editing it. Okay, let's get back to this. So, shall we read? Shall we read? Listen to Ingrid. That's my middle name. Listen to Ingrid. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. From September 2022 to November 2023, Mr. Jones, this is the producer, okay? Mr. Jones produced 9 songs on Mr. Combs' Love album. Mr. Jones lived with Mr. Combs for months at a time, spending holidays, birthdays, and missing major family events. Okay. Mr. Jones resided at Mr. Combs' residence located in Los Angeles, California, New York City, and Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones also spent several weeks on a yacht rested by Mr. Combs. Now, let me just tell y'all, once I saw that they was on a yacht, I knew it was going to be a problem. Once I saw they was on a yacht, I knew it was going to be a problem because, baby, any shit that be happening on boats, it's never good. It's never good. The claims raised in this complaint have been corroborated through witness statements, video, audio recordings, and images that Mr. Jones has in his possession. I feel like I should do this on my Patreon and really walk y'all through this and take y'all through this. The amount of stuff in here is bonkers. Okay, tequila. I'm gonna save it for Patreon. It's bonkers. I'm gonna do it on Patreon tomorrow. We're gonna go through the bit. Okay, I'll do a mini version, Jared. So basically, like just like real quick, there's like sexual assault in here. There's somebody got shot. Usher's in there. Chris Brown's in there. TD Jakes is in there. Like, there's so much. And the thing about it is that it's really brave for this producer to come forward because what it's saying is, I came here to work and you subjected me to like all of this bonkersness and you thought that you could because you were paying me to do this work. And that right there is really the like overarching issue with so much of this entertainment business. You know what I'm saying? Like so much of this entertainment business is people acting a fucking ass on like a whole other level and it being like, yeah, but like I'm famous, or yeah, like you can get this, like I'm paying you, so you're not gonna say nothing. And it's one thing to like have an attitude or be eccentric. It's a whole other thing to like submit somebody to acts of violence, to acts of like sexual harassment, sexual assault, etc. That like they did not sign up for that. They signed up to be on the NPC. Turn me up in the headphones. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Like that's what they signed up for. And instead, this is what y'all are giving them. That's not it. It's not it. It's not okay. And what this producer is saying is like, this is not okay. That's what this producer is saying. This is not okay. We're not just going to be silent just because you hired us. We're not just going to come in here and let you, spray whipped cream on our faces or whatever. Listen, I feel very fortunate because Puff, I never had no run-ins with Puff. I really feel like God got me. God just like kept me out of certain shit. Yeah. God said me, like I never ran into R. Kelly ever. I mean, I would have been too old anyway. But like, who else is problematic? I did have my run-in with Russell Simmons, but it was more so him just being a fucking asshole and a jerk and talking out of turn. Like we never had, like he literally asked me like in an office, he was like, Amanda, have we ever had sex? No, he said, Amanda, have we ever fucked? He asked me this in front of people. And I was like, what? He's like, oh, because I would have remembered if it happened, right? There were people there. Then he had the people there sign an affidavit saying that that didn't happen, even though they had already called me or texted me, I should say, and apologized for it happening. Anywho, but I never, like, the only time that I would ever see Puff was when Q-Tip was DJing at this club in New York called Santos Party House. And it was a time. It was a time. Let me just tell y'all. Let me see if I can find a good Santos picture. Because, baby, it was a time. Where's that picture? There's like a really good, oh, I know what it is. Hold on. Where is that picture? That's like my favorite, one of my favorite pictures. Why can't I find it? I usually can just go, there it is. I love this picture. Y'all, I'm wearing a winter hat. Okay. I'm wearing a winter hat. I'm in the booth. That's Q-Tip next to me. Those people are down there. We just turned up. Turn up. I got a fanny pack on. So this was in my, I don't have to wear heels to the club phase. And that was so just liberating. I could just wear leggings to the club. Yes. 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 Tequila. I had a time. Okay. And so like Puff started coming. So as you can see, like, see how like we're up in the booth and like people are like the dance floor is down here, but like we're up in the booth. So like Puff will come in the booth and, you know, he would just be kind of like, and I'd be in the corner. When Puff came, I'd be in the corner because I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to, I just, something about that energy just wasn't for me. And one time I went to the studio and literally, like, if I'm sitting here, so let's say y'all are me, okay? Y'all are me. I'm going to show you what Puff was doing. Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? Yo. I was like, I'm gonna head out. Oh, child. I said, I'm gonna head out. So yeah, that was a time. That was a time. But these allegations are crazy, and I'm gonna go through the whole thing on my Patreon. Tequila said, dude, on my Patreon, I'm gonna take her advice. Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? I was like, ah! So I got out of there. Yes. When I tell you, I got out of there. Yeah. Listen, y'all, it's like y'all just let that slide. Scott said that they blew up his car. Scott said that Sean blew his car up. Scott Mescudi. I need to talk to Cutters. I want to hear about that. Mm-hmm. So, why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? Why you ain't dancing? I'm gonna make that a house song. So, Jack C, you don't know about this story? So basically, Scott Cuddy was like, was he dating Cassie? Yeah, Cuddy was dating Cassie. This came out during the Cassie allegations when Cassie had sued. Cassie brought allegations against Puff, and then they ended up settling. But essentially, the story is that Puff found out that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi, and then he blew Cudi's car up. Like in the driveway. Huh? Like, that's crazy. That's bonkers. Yes, they blew that man's car up in the driveway. Sirs, ma'ams, non-binaries. What are we talking about? what are we talking about? Yeah. So that should tell you what you need to know about Sean Puffy Combs. And what's crazy is that, like, basically that story came out and then it just went away. Like, when the case went away, because so the other thing was that it was like, oh man, he settled so fast. Like, he didn't want the smoke. So she didn't just sue him. Cassie sued his companies. And he is, of course, like the CEO, I guess maybe the owner of his companies, but more so he has like boards. And so what I was told was that it has something to do with like the fact that because she sued the companies, like it's easier for them to just like settle and be done with it because it doesn't affect their stock in the same way that if they had like kept going with the case, and that yes, the insurance money would have kicked in because there's like an insurance clause that has to do with the person who is like the head of the company being sued. So I don't know. That's what they say. I mean, I'm saying I'm just repeating what the document said. You know, this was a story that came out, and the story came out, and then it just went away. So yeah, bonkers. Also bonkers. Hate to bring it down, but we got to talk about this. So this week in Gaza, there's a situation where they brought a truck of aid into northern Gaza, and then subsequently the people who were there to get that aid were fired on. And to my knowledge, at least 100 people lost their lives, and then there were like over 1,000 that were injured. So the story comes out, and it first comes out from eyewitness accounts from people who were there, people who are talking about it, people who are like, this happened, like, don't give us aid if you're going to do this, like, just we'll figure it out. Side note, there was also aid that was dropped in the ocean by Jordan. And the aid was dropped in the ocean. People went out to, like, literally in the ocean, swam out to get it, only to then be attacked from the sky by Israeli jets and bombers, whatever. And I saw a video where this guy was saying that, and I don't know how true this is, but he sounded very convincing. But he was like, listen, there is a Jordanian field hospital that's like 1,000 meters. He was like, literally, it's 1,000 meters long. And they have dropped aid specifically at that hospital several times. He was like, it's only 1,000 meters long. And they've been able to be like, boop, and drop aid. And he was like, you telling me that they could do that in that precision fashion, but yet when they're trying to drop aid for Palestinians, they're dropping it in the ocean. They're dropping it across the border. They're dropping it at checkpoints. He was like, bullshit. This is just trash. And he was like, you know what? All of you all out there in America and Canada and the Europe, etc. He's like, all y'all out there who are supporting us, none of this is your fault. He was like, the fact is that these Arab countries who ain't looking out for us, like that really is what the problem is. And I was like, damn. So, and anytime that you see an admission, anytime you see the Israeli government, anytime they make an accusation, it's a projection. Okay, every accusation is a confession. So then someone leaked footage from the massacre of drone footage from the massacre. You know what's sad is that the numbers are dwindling right now of people watching, and this is when the numbers should be going up. The numbers should be going up. So what's sad is that people were actually somehow basically they released drone footage. They released drone footage, and the drone footage was tampered with. So they sent the drone footage to news outlets, but it was tampered with. And Greg Stoker had actually pointed this out. He was like, if you look in these corners, this has been tampered with. Look at this, look at this. And he shows you where it's been tampered with. And then join us over here at YouTube. I'm over here at YouTube, Amanda Seals TV. We're in the middle of a Common Sense Kickback. We got about 15 more minutes. Don't play yourself. The link is in my stories. Come on over here. Come on over. We're talking about some real things. Well, right now we're talking about the Flower Massacre. So get on over here. See you soon. So now you saw the Israeli representative come out, and he's literally telling Christina Amanpour, yeah, we have nothing to do with this. The Israeli army has nothing to do with this. She's like, how do y'all have nothing to do with this? Your tank was there. Your army your soldiers said that they fired on them. And he was like, well, no, yeah, but we don't have anything to do with this. She was like, I don't understand your statement. You were there. Your soldiers were there. That was your tank. You fired on people and they died. And then the doctors have said that the vast majority of their patients had bullet wounds, because they tried to say that, it was because they got trampled. It was because they got trampled. And it's like, no, it wasn't because they got trampled. They were running because they were getting shot at. And it was honestly bonkers to me to watch this person say to Christina Amanpour, we just weren't there. It's like a Jedi mind trick. But then I'm looking at Christina Amanpour and I'm like, you're really just going to be like, okay, fine. She challenged him, but then she let him keep going. That's what I love about Mark Lamont Hill, is that he be like, nah. Mehdi Hassan, nah. They be like, nah, we not, come on. What are we doing? And, when you really start to understand just the ways in which the media are so run and co-opted, you start to understand, the reason why they're always, saying wrong information, whether it's about a shooting or whether it's about government stuff, it's because that's where they get their information from. And when you listen to or you read the book Manufacturing Consent, you really start to understand that there's entire media systems that are created for every branch of government. That they're literally production companies making, and every branch of the military is, sorry, not every branch of government, every branch of the military. They're production companies. They're making content. So I'm like, this is wild. Oh my God, did you see that? That was wild. I couldn't drink my water. So interesting that you asked this. So I am seeing that there are members of Congress who have now gone over to Israel and have come back and are like, hey, this is wild. Y'all are not letting aid trucks in. That's not okay. This is doing too much. But the thing is that these same members of Congress are voting for aid packages to go to Israel. So how does that work? And that's the problem with these politicians. They can't stand on nothing. They're trying to serve two masters. It's literally trying to serve my conscience and my coffer. Coffer is just a fancy word for my pockets. And I'm like, I can't make that make sense for you. But what's really scary to me is that they released this footage knowing that it was tampered with and thought that no one was going to say anything about it. And it was actually the New York Times, if memory serves me correct, that was like, hey, this isn't accurate. And of course, the New York Times is trying to get its credibility back because it just came out that they have been completely fraudulent, and that when they had published a story about the sexual violence being used against the Jewish people in Israel by Hamas, that it turns out that that was a fraud. Mm-hmm. So now they looking batshit crazy. So now they want to be like, so the drone footage shows very clearly that this was some absolute like massacre. This was not by any means someone in danger. You're in a tank. How are you in danger? These people are here starving. They don't even have the strength to fight you. So like, what are we even talking about? So, the latest that I saw was that like the US was like, this wasn't good. And I don't know if you saw Biden the other day, like eating ice cream somewhere in an ice cream shop, talking about like, yeah, we're going to have a ceasefire by this weekend, by Sunday, by Monday. Now he's like, yeah, I'm not so sure. It's a shame and it's a sham. And there's a lot of folks that are going to be protesting on March 2nd. So look around where you are, wherever you are, and see if there's a protest for Palestine going on wherever you are, and head on out there. That is tomorrow. And, this doesn't stop. The protesting doesn't stop. I really urge you to listen to the Common Sense Kickback I did with Craig J. Stoker, where we talked about, how the fuck do we level up our activism? And he really talks about just the fact that, well, one, we need to get more education about imperialism and the ways in which Palestine and Congo and Sudan, like all these places are connected. And two, he was like, we need to actually connect our movements. So I've been really fortunate that at my stand-up shows, I've been getting a lot of Palestinians at my stand-up shows, but also like, my Black audience. But I do feel like I am being echo chambered on Instagram, and that I'm only being shown to like people who have like the same pro-Palestinian thoughts as me. And of course there are Black people that feel that way, but by and large, it's going to be an Arab Palestinian audience. And I'm not reaching my Black audience the way I used to. So I was talking about this on Instagram, so I'm going to talk about it here. That's why I need folks like y'all who, whether you're about Black or not, like I need you to be sharing my work with your Black friends, and doing so through these methods, but also like on group chat. And when you hear me in your town or in a city, like talk about it, like we need to get back to a grassroots method anyway. I'm talking about Black people right here. We really, truly need to get back to a grassroots methods of living, not just community organizing, but just like the literal community grassroots way of life. Like we don't talk the way we used to each other. We don't share the way we used to with each other. There's so much hoarding that goes on between each other. And it really is counterproductive. It's counterproductive. It's counterintuitive. And so, I'm just giving one example of like, okay, if you hear that Amanda's doing a show, can you tell your friends? Can you word of mouth it? Right? But that's just like one very small thing. This is how we start getting back into like the practice of how do we create movements. I was watching Selma on the plane today, and it was just so just trippy just to think like how these movements happened, whether it's the, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee or, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And, if you really want to read a really good book about just like organizing, make sure to check out the late John Lewis's Walking with the Wind. His memoir is unbelievable. But to come back around to the Palestine of it all, in the same breath that this is happening, we know that the West Bank has also become incredibly violent on a whole other level. Like the I guess the mayor of the West Bank, I don't know his actual title, but Ben Gvir, he's literally like passing out guns to these people in the West Bank to basically just shoot at will. Then you have folks who are literally like trying to cross over into northern Gaza. You have Israelis who are trying to cross over into northern Gaza to start like claiming land. I shared a video of a Jewish man in Teaneck, New Jersey, who was saying that there's going to be a literal sale, an estate sale and a land sale at a synagogue for illegally stolen settler land in northern Gaza. And he was like, this can't happen. And he was like, at the city council meeting, I posted it on my page. He was like, this can't happen. And if y'all let this happen, I'm going to have a protest. And he said, I know that there's going to be a protest because I'm going to plan it. It's going to be very well attended. Make sure you go watch it. Yes, Carla G, it is a war crime. It is a war crime. Yes. So, these are things that, so you realize like, oh, we don't need to even just be protesting at like embassies. We need to be protesting at spaces that are practicing like Zionist, illegal Zionist practices. Like that synagogue would need, like that synagogue needs to get protested. And beyond protesting, we have to explore like other ways of protesting. We have to. And one of the biggest things that we have to do is we just need to get we got to get more educated. That's why I created this space. Even though I'm dog-ass tired all the fucking time, I'm like, no, we need to come on here. We need to have a space where people are learning and we need to share. And yes, it's free, but thank you to y'all who do the supers. I appreciate you because, you show people like, okay, we feel like this is valuable. So thank you. And oh man. And that's what's going on. If you want to check out more, I'm really working to bring on guests every week. So on Tuesday, we have Rahel Tesfamariam. She's going to be joining to talk about what the fuck is Black excellence. So I don't know if you know this, but I had posted a tweet from her a few weeks ago where she was talking about how Black excellence is not about simply just having capitalist success. Like we have to get our minds out of that mind state. We have to do it because that right there is so ass backwards and limiting and really is just saying that we're chasing the same fucking colonial settler mind state that brought us here. And so, she is going to be joining us. It's going to be earlier in the day, but she's going to be joining us at noon. So I'm going to post that link and you'll be able to set the notification for that. But that's going to be great. Rahel Tesfamariam. And she is also going to be dropping her book shortly. So thank you so much, SJC. And so I'm, her joining us is going to be a part of her book tour. But this is another thing too. It's like, I want you all to hear about these people because like, you may not know her, but maybe that's a new person for you to be like listening to because we have to get new intellectuals. It can't just be Ta-Nehisi Coates and Nicole Hannah-Jones. They are incredible, but even they need like other folks. Like there should be a wide expanse of Black intellectuals that you all can gobble up that aren't just simply coming from academia. Okay. And I say this to also the people here who are not Black. You need to be. I don't know if y'all saw this thing today where it was like a game show and nobody knew the Black people on the game show. Like they didn't know like the answers for like Black celebrities. That shit pissed me the fuck off. That shit pissed me the fuck off. And I'm like, y'all need to really expand. Everybody, if you're on here and you are not Black and you consider yourself a co-conspirator, because ally is not enough, you consider yourself a co-conspirator, you need to expand. And you need to, if you miss one of these, hopefully you make it your business to go check it out. Hopefully you make it your business to go check it out. So, well, to be honest, that's how it has to work. The only thing that's going to end white supremacy is white people divesting from it. It's true. It's the only way it's going to work. That's my vision. It doesn't matter what we do as non-white people, because think of white supremacy like when we're trying to boycott something. It has value only as long as we give it value. As long as it doesn't have value, it's no longer something that can be sought after. So the more white people that divest from their whiteness and aren't using their whiteness, the more it loses its value. Now, some people are like, well, how do I divest from using my whiteness? It's not to say that you don't like take opportunities, but you make space for other people all the time. If you're in a corporate setting, you make space for other voices. If you are, if you're in any kind of workspace, you make space for other voices. If you are like trying to understand other cultures, you travel to other places beyond simply European shit. Like you literally you spend your money in other spaces. You divest from whiteness. It doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge that you still have white privilege. It means that you don't perpetuate it. You make it your fucking business, your purpose in life, to disassociate yourself from any practices of whiteness, whether it's, just the expectation of entitlement or raisins and potato salad. But it requires intentionality. And it is a literal practice of unbrainwashing yourself. But it is divesting. That's what it is. It is taking the precious gem of whiteness and devaluing it so that it's no longer mined for. Mm-hmm. It's real. It's real. And it's something that everyone who benefits from whiteness should be doing actively and should be doing humbly, because there's no ego in it. There cannot be. There cannot be any ego in it. There has to only be empowerment and love and healing in it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And not every Black person or non-white person is going to be down with it. And that doesn't mean that you stop your efforts. You still keep going because you as a person are doing it for your soul and your spirit. That's right. That's right. I was like easy with the fist, but I know that you were saying that because I said, if you like a topic, put your fists up. I was like, well, that looks like a white power fist. Relax. So that's it for tonight. I am going to do a Patreon around Diddy's allegations. So look out for that. It's going to happen. And before we go, some housekeeping. Remember to make sure that you listen to the Amanda Seales Show wherever you get your podcasts. Okay. Please follow us at Seal Said It here on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm really excited to see my show picking up speed and getting a lot more listeners in DC and in the other cities that we're in. So we are in Columbus, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Columbus, Georgia, Houston, Philadelphia, DC, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and Richmond, Virginia. And then on weekends, you can hear my show in Philly, in Atlanta, in Indianapolis, in Cincinnati, in Raleigh, Durham, and in Baltimore, Maryland. So we're moving and grooving. And, it's really just kind of me trying to build a network of folks that just, fuck with what I fuck with. And, maybe sometimes you can't always support because you don't got bread or you don't got time, but, you tell a friend. And you can sign up for the Amanda Seales for the newsletter. The Amanda Seales newsletter, we put it out every 2 weeks. 1 week, it'll be just about all the dope stuff coming up. And then the next week, it's going to be information attached to the things that we've talked about. So highlighting active organizers and giving you extended information about topics that I'm really passionate about. Like, for instance, this week, we're putting out a new newsletter and we're going to be talking about, where Black people should be spending their money. So yeah, I'm really forging a path, and I really appreciate all of you guys for showing me love and making me know that path is possible. It's possible. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, And remember, we are each other's business. When we look out for each other, we lift each other up. All right, y'all.